Welcome to the Friday, Monday night edition of the Blitz Pickup. Listen, we got breaking news. Miami Dolphins finally hired their defensive coordinator. I'm quite sure we realized that they was waiting to see if Anthony Weaver was getting a head coach job to get those comp picks. Didn't pan out that way, so they went ahead and hired their new defensive coordinator, Sean Duggins. I think we all expected that. So we're gonna break down the now that we have the full coaching roster, coaching staff, we're gonna see what get our thoughts on that. Also, could the Miami Dolphins be drafting a quarterback at 11? Now I'm listen to a couple of platforms, and word is that Miami Dolphins may or may not be eyeing someone at at 11, and could it be a quarterback? No, possibly. That plus we got a couple um more draft picks as well to see what we think that we should be drafting and do as we transition until our off-season draft. April is right around the corner. But before I do all that, let me get my co-host up here. Lou, what's good with you, Lou?
Tone, what's good,
Okay.
dog?
Yeah, I had to double check and make sure it was Lou this time. Not Fire Halfley or Hands and Feed or
Yeah. Listen, it's just gonna be Lou moving forward, man. You know what I'm
oh
saying? I can't.
man.
Yeah, I'm down bad right now, Tone, man. We
Oh man,
down
I
bad.
see them in the chat. Green Bay South already coming from power. You say you down bad. Why you down bad, Lou? What's going on?
Tone, I'm a Dolphin fan, man. I'm down. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? I'm
listen, man.
down
It's
bad,
great.
man.
It's not great to be a Miami Dolphin. Isn't that the way they say it? It's great to be a Miami. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know. That's
nah, they lied to us.
who lied to us. Then we gonna talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Y'all see you, Powerhouse Jay. You talking about Green Bay South. Hey, we might be looking like Green Bay South, but the last time we tried to be Green Bay anything, Lou pointed out last episode that Joe Philman, yeah, he looked too good. Bryson in the building. Yo, what's good? What's good, Bryson? Hope you boys doing well. Yes, we are. I see G2 early and Crypto. Crypto was early. Crypto must be ready to talk trash. JD the Great, good evening, everyone. I see you in the building. But hey, listen, Lou, man, today was, kind of busy. We had a little nice back and forth going inside the spaces that we be running, good little conversation there. But over here, I want to focus more on, the quote unquote breaking news of new our newly announced defensive coordinator. Hold on, let me get get the scene ready. There we go. The Dolphins finally hired their defensive coordinator, even though we already assumed this guy was going to get the job. So another one, half these guys, I think, I don't want to assume, but I think you was aware that this guy was going to have the position. They were just waiting on Weaver to go through his little whatever he was going through his interview phase or get his new job. Now that we officially announced it, Lou, what's your thoughts on us hiring this guy, man? Hold on. Did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah. Listen, I seen the thumbnail. Another great masterpiece of a thumbnail. Um, I'm gonna be honest, Tone. I'm not gonna talk bad about. I believe his name is Sean Duggans or Duggans, however you say the guy's name. Listen, virtually Jeff Halfley's the defensive coordinator anyway.
Yes.
So you've kind of talked about it, Tone. You've highlighted it. This guy, I believe, is coming in to, well, according to what Jeff Halfley even said, to kind of like the off-season program, the OTAs, mini camp, training camp, preseason, so on and so on. I think this guy will be, there to kind of hold down the defense until the season starts and basically Jeff Halfley takes over. So, listen, a guy he's familiar with, I believe he coached with him, not only in Green Bay, but I think, they've coached other places together as well.
Austin College.
Boston College, there you go. So, again, man, like, another guy I really don't know nothing about, to be honest with you. But to me, the defensive coordinator, and I've said this, Tone, for multiple weeks now, As soon as I heard Jeff Hafley say he was going to be calling the defensive plays, that's where it ended for me. Like again, virtually this guy is what Frank Smith was to me for all those years with Mike McDaniel. Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator, but we knew that was Mike McDaniel's baby. Same thing here. Jeff Hafley is virtually our head coach, defensive coordinator. So not a real shock though. We did know this guy, Sean Duggan or whatever, was going to get the job. So it's not a big surprise for me at all.
Yeah, and I believe the same thing. It wasn't a surprise. I think it was expected, especially with the rumors coming out. Well, I ain't gonna say the rumors. The reports was coming out saying that the Dolphins was eventually going to hire him. It was all due process. They weren't trying to mess up their potential cap pitch with Anthony Weaver, so they just had him waiting around to see how that transpired. And once they found out that he wasn't going to get the job, that he took the DC job over in Baltimore, they just went ahead and made it official. Jeff Hafley have already announced the fact that he's going to be calling plays. He really was the reason that he really wants to use a defensive. Well, you need a defensive coordinator regardless, but this guy was really going to be taking over the DC job so he could be a head coach. So basically, so he could focus on all of the other head coaching duties, especially in the offseason and especially this season, being that it's his first season as a head coach. So that's a smart approach, at least from that standpoint. However, does it knock our socks off or make us surprised? No, this is a common denominator or a common theme with these hires coming from Jeff Hafley. No one is excited about it. No one is surprised. These are guys that he's worked with, that he have relationship with. They're not the glamorous picks. So no surprise here. I think there was some interesting things that we was talking about, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. I talked a little bit about it backstage. I noticed a common theme. It's majority of them, if not all of them. I didn't look at all of them, but majority of them are guys that he worked with before. He had prior experience, right? So that was to be expected. But another thing that I'm noticing is a lot of these guys are either fresh out of college or they aren't too far from being in college or being a college coach in some type of capacity. Now, why did I point that out or it grabbed my attention was because you remember what type of coach he said he want and what the style that he was trying to bring to Miami Dolphins. They was going to draft and retain. Well, part of draft and retain is player development. Do you think, is it some coincidence or do you see any good coming out of this? That the fact that a lot of these guys, the majority of them, they are coming from the college ranks to where you have to develop those guys. This is where you start to prep them for the NFL so they have some experience in player development. Do you think that's a good idea or a good approach that he's taking? Or did you consider that, Lou, when you saw the name that he started bringing up?
Nah, to be honest, I didn't think of it like that. Now, to your point, I'm not going to sugarcoat her. I'm not going to lie. That's a good thing. A lot of college coaches, they're there for, to your point, getting the guys ready, maybe to go to the next level. And college is really about development. So
yeah,
that is a good thing, especially, to your point, a lot of these guys coming from college, either, right now or, here recently, they should know a lot of the players that are coming out in the draft, right? So that's another way to look at it.
yes.
They probably either scouted the players, maybe tried to recruit some of those guys. So from that standpoint, those are all good and positive things that I could say, Tone, right? Like, or we could both say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, bro, like, again, from when I look at this, just because me, I want to shit on all the moves. So again, Tone, I'm not even trying to lie to people.
Yeah.
I think again, it could be good. It also could be bad. It could be the fact that maybe these guys weren't good enough to have NFL jobs, and that's why they were in college, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta be honest, and we gotta play both sides of the fence. Again, man, I just think from a coaching style or staff standpoint, I think Jeff Hafley is getting a bunch of guys that he's comfortable with. That is a good thing. But I also think there is something to do with I don't think Jeff Hafley gets a lot of the respect that maybe people think he gets.
Yeah.
Right? I think players love him. I think players that have played for him, they give him credit. I haven't heard a lot of coaches, executives, or anything of that nature giving Jeff Hafley a lot of credit. So now, Tone, to your question though, is it good that some of these guys are coming from college? There's some good things about it, but overall, I just think a lot of these guys are not really qualified, and we just got to see how it goes from there. But there are some good things or some positive things you could take away from getting college coaches. Again, knowing the players that are coming out and things of that nature. But overall, I'm still not impressed with the roster or the coaching staff.
Right. And I think if you look at it, and we were saying that we had the GM in the house, but he had to get his scout team ready because we're behind the 8 ball on that, because now you got to get the GM in the house, and now you got to get your scout team, and that's taking away time that they can be actually out there scouting because you're going interviewing them. Right. So I think this approach kind of helped out with that. It's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because these type of coaches, they're used to the scouting world, and they just coming from college. So they are familiar with a lot of the players coming out of that. So I think that they can help in that aspect. Because I was going down a lot, like Sean Duggan's, Boston College, Darius Eubanks, Georgia Tech. He was the, what he was, the running back coach over there, I believe. What's the other guy? Zach Yenser. He wasn't there this year, but I think 2 or 3 years ago, he was at Kentucky. Matt Applebaum, we already know. And I think he worked with Hafley in Boston College, but he had that experience on dealing with these people. And he was the running back coach is Liddell Betts, I think, from out of Iowa. So a lot of these coaches, I believe, can help with these young players coming in and help develop. Now, that's only one aspect of coaching. Right. So we can't hang our hat on that and make it seem like, okay, that's a good sign. So maybe we should be excited, or it'd be something to be excited for. Yeah, you could be excited about it, but let's not forget it's still the pros. It's all good for development, but in the pros, a lot of people, they're making a lot of money now, way more than you are. You have to deal with personalities and things of that nature. We need to see how they handle that part of the coaching and being a positional coach, because what happened with the last regime. The last regime, we felt like it was too player friendly. So I don't want them to be that type of coaching staff that they're too player friendly to where they can't be as disciplined or discipline them as much as they would like. Now Jeff Hafley said we're not gonna have that issue, but we got to call a spade a spade. I wanted to point out something. Hold on. True Fin Fan, what's up, my boy? He said, change equal different than normal. We watched it. He said, we wanted it and we got it. Let's sit back and watch it unfold. What else can we do? I'm even killed right now. I guess.
But no. But we all didn't want it. See,
you didn't want change?
No. Well, what changed though? You see that, and I would love True Fin Fan to qualify. What change? Because do I want the right change? Yes. Do I want this? No. You see what I'm saying? And again, Tone, this is where, and I'm not accusing True Fin Fan of this, but this is what I be trying to say, and especially in the Twitter spaces, because it just seems like we're in there a lot longer than the hour and a half, 3 days on YouTube.
Yes.
The people that are excited about all this stuff are the people that wanted Mike McDaniel gone and Chris Greer gone. I'm not, like, again, it has to be better, bro. And I'm sorry. You're not going to tell me this is better. You're not. It's not better. So just to have change, just so I can say, oh, I wanted this guy fired and he got fired, so yay. I'm not built like that. I'm not saying True Fin Fan is, Tone. I'm not saying anybody else. I'm just saying, for me, when I read comments like this, we want to change. No, we didn't. We did not want change. And we'll go later on in the show, Tone. I know you got a topic. I know I'm not gonna go off on that topic. But this is where, Tone, that's what I want to change. I don't need guys that sit in leather seats in the front office or a head coach to change. No, what we'll talk about later is what we needed to change. Not all this, bro. This is not a good look on any stretch of the imagination. This coaching staff and the coach, specifically this head coach, it's not good, bro. Like, so no, I cannot. Well, we wanted this. Well, I didn't want this. Who you mean to tell me you wanted to get off Mike McDaniel for this? You mean you wanted to get out of Anthony Weaver for this? You wanted to get away from Brian Flores for this? That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, we got to call a spade a spade. Don't tell me change and then feed me this. Nah, bro. I'm sorry. This is not the change, at least for me, right? But I would assume everybody don't want this kind of change.
Well, you know what? Now I want to change. I'm more of on the line of saying I just don't want to keep the people around just to keep them around, just for the sake of having some stability. So, I know me and you are on opposite sides when it comes to Mike McDaniel. I'm one of the ones that believe it was time for a change. It just, I don't know, man. Is this what we were looking for? No, I'll give you that. This wasn't what we were looking for, but I said this before. I'm gonna say it again. This might be exactly what we need. We're not looking for these type of players. We are looking for, and I will talk about that shortly too. Actually, we could get into it now, because we were looking for the big name guys. I brought up 250 and other comment because something that I wanted to talk about. He said, what I do like is they're young, familiar with each other, and hungry. Will they be Schuler or Cam Cameron? That's the part we'll see. We did, include myself, we killed them for bringing in friends or, people that we feel like he get along with, things of that nature. And I had my concerns, and I'm always voice my concerns, because that's how I fan, and that's the information that I want to give out to our listeners and our subscribers. We're going to voice the concerns that we have, because it's all about what we think this franchise needs moving forward to be better. However, I'm not going to leave out the fact that the example that I gave with me and you is, because I heard someone, who was it? I think it was Mystic's brother. So I think it was 1987, was saying that it was the easy way out by him picking Sean Duggan. I don't think he have an S on the end of it, right? And I'm like, you can't look at it from that standpoint. It's the easy way out. Or it can be he worked with him, they work well together, and they understand the vision. Now, I know I'm not going to be up here, and I'm not going to tell you guys to get on the train and say, let's look at this positive. No, that's not what I'm here for. But I have to be objective, and that's what we're here for. We're not here just to be, echo chambers up here. We're here to be objective. And objectively speaking, I look at it and say, let's say John Harbaugh, and I gave this analogy before. Let's say John Harbaugh. Let's say, who was out there? Brian Flores. Who was out there? Sean McDermott. No, well, McDermott is probably going to be trying to look for a head coach. But the Brian Dabolls of the world, all of the people that got hired. For the most part, I pointed out, a lot of these people have cachet. They have prior head coaching experience. Now, they might be way more qualified than the guys that he brought in. But can we not forget? Well, can we not ignore the fact that they might not be good to work together? That could be something that happens, or the reason that he's moving the way he is. Because yes, that man is great at what he do, but me and him don't see eye to eye. It might not work well together just because they're good and they have great experience and they had some success. They had success with the people they were working with, and the way that they worked wherever they was working with at the first in the other spot. but that just might not work with Jeff Hafley. And yes, you can say he's first-time head coach. You're probably looking for guys that don't give him too much pushback. And I was like, you know what? That could be true. But also, it's not just about guys that's going to give him pushback. It might be, and Lou, you said this earlier on the show, last show on Friday, and you also said it earlier in this space. It seemed like maybe a lot of those coaches, that candidates that was out there, don't respect Hafley like that. And he can't get them to come over here and work with him. So if I look at it from that standpoint, I'm not trying to bring in a guy that don't respect me just because he's qualified for a job. Because part of the qualifications to work over here is you have to respect me and respect my vision. Camaraderie works in head coaching as well. We have to be on one accord. Now, we have to disagree, but the disagreement is for us to go and move in the same direction with one common goal. Be like, I know what the goal is here, but I disagree with how you get in there. And this is what I think is best to get to that common goal. But if you have guys that feel like they're better than you, feel like they have higher standards than you, or a higher status than you, and try to undermine you, that's not a good working condition to start off with. And we don't want that power struggle. So if that's the case, if we look at it from that standpoint, then yeah, maybe it's not good for Jeff Hafley to bring these guys in. And at that point, you got to say, John Eric Sullivan, this is your first major move as a GM. This is the guy that you wanted to bring in. Now I know for the people that don't like who he brought in, they're probably gonna kill him if it doesn't work out. Hell, me too. I'm gonna be like, this didn't work out. We saw this coming from the get-go. Right? But you know what else I'm gonna be paying attention to? And this is for John Eric. This is for Sully. Let's call him Sully. I'm gonna see if he have that same problem that I thought McDaniel had. Are you gonna let friendship get in the way of you making a business decision? Because if Jeff Hafley doesn't pan out, are you going to be able to take off your friend cap on and say, hey, man, you got to go. I got to get you out the building. You're not getting your job done. Non-personal, just business.
Yeah, but how long does that take?
It's up in the air. And I say it depends on, let's just say, I think you said this before. I mean, if he win 2 games, 1 year might be just enough for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to win 2 games. Depends on how it looks. Now, if he go out there like what Brian Flores did with his first season, and he get 7 to 8 games with a roster that we didn't anticipate being competitive, then you look at that a little different. So I think it's contingent upon how this season goes, or all of the seasons coming up, to say, well, how long does it take? Because it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give you a definite. Go ahead.
Well, it could be, Tone, and I'm with you. But and you know this as much as anybody else does. In business, they always say you can't mix business with friendships, with relationships,
family. Yeah.
And I get what you were saying about maybe, the guys don't, from a Hafley standpoint, you don't want to bring in guys that maybe think they have a bigger cachet than you, because you don't want friction, obviously, your first year.
Yes.
But one thing we all agreed, and this is one of the things to True Fin fans' point earlier about, we want to change. You know what we want to change? This friendly, happy-go-lucky, building relationships within this organization, we wanted that gone. But that's all they've done. Everybody is a friend. That's all. You can't have just everybody. Again, it's friend, bro. This is all buddy. And to your point with Sully, right? Even if he got, let's say to the point, let's say Jeff Hafley completely fails this season, and to your point, it's only 2 wins. Well, now I'm looking at Sully even more sideways, even if he fires him after the first year. Because ultimately, bro, you the one that made this decision. The reason you would even be put in that position, you know why? Because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to do your due diligence and you were going to bring in the best, and most qualified. Well, you didn't. So now if it don't work out, what am I supposed to do after year one? Am I supposed to praise him because he would get rid of Halfley? No. You put yourself in this position. Like, bro, I just think it's all bad, to be honest. Again, I try to get like the bright side of things, Tone, and I try to look at it. And the more and more it just keeps smacking me in my face, bro. This is all wrong. Well, it's all wrong. There's nothing that is good with this. I'm sorry.
So the Patriots, Gerard Mayo winning up 1 year, they got him up out of there. Bought in Mike Vrabel. Within 2 seasons, they back. Well, this is his first year with them. They in the Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna kill him for getting it wrong the first time. I'm just not. Now, again, you said it was all wrong. I don't think so, right? Because I think that's from the standpoint that even though he already was convicted on his guy, man, we can't sit here and think that Kevin Stefanski's, the John Harbaugh's, who else was out there? The Mike McCarthy's of the world. We can't just automatically assume that they want to come here and coach here when there's options out there. I remember you said, you know what, certain people went to certain places because they didn't feel like there was an option. Well, you know what, that goes vice versa. Sorry. Some coaches probably didn't want to come here because there wasn't an option for them. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to go over there and deal with that cap and deal with the Tua stuff. When there's other options available to me, I'd rather take those jobs. Now, whether they feel like it's a better job or not, that's for them to say or decide. But for me, I have to look at it from that standpoint as well. So the only thing that we can say, that we know for a fact, is that Sully was convinced on Jeff Halfley from day one. So I wanted to ask you a question because you said the friendship. We wanted to get it out, and we didn't like it. Can you name me franchises that don't have that setup? That the people that's under them are people that they work with, people that they're friend with?
Well, again, I would have to do more research and look, but
Kyle Shanahan, go look at his whole tree. Every coach under him has always either coached along with him, or on the same coaching staff when he was with his father in the earlier years. All his coaches.
Do we know? Does Anthony Weaver have any background with Jesse Minter?
Minter? No, I don't know if he does or not, but we do know Anthony Weaver have backgrounds with that organization.
So you think the organization is bringing Anthony Weaver back, or do you think that's
remember, it's a GM decision as well. So probably they was talking amongst them and say, "Hey, what you think about bringing Anthony Weaver in? We have some familiarity with him. I don't know, and we could look that up. You understand? For the most part, but and let's just say that wasn't. But what about the rest of the people under his staff?
I mean, yeah. Again, I'm not saying it's wrong, Tone. No. Listen, I understand. I get why you do it. I just don't know if everybody has to be your friend. I don't know if everybody has to be someone you know and work with and have I don't. Again, I don't know. I would have to do my research and look.
I'm looking at it, and I got my notifications on when Adam Schefter and Ari go live, and just look at them every time. Oh, such and such hired such and such. Oh, they work together on this staff. Such and such hired such and such. Oh, he was working under him at this in this location. It's every time someone hired, this seems to be the common denominator. They're all hiring people that they're familiar with. Now, obviously, they have their coaching tree is way more advanced, and I'm not even gonna say advanced, but have way more experience than the guys that Halfley have relationships with. So yes, it's gonna look great. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, look at his hires, bro. He's back with Raheem Morris. This is third time that they work with each other. Robert Saleh left, came right back to Kyle Shanahan. You know, so this is all I'm saying. I just believe, and when you say other coaches, they have the willingness to bring coaches with them. Well, Hafley's doing the same thing too. He's bringing the coaches from Boston College that he worked with. They're coming over here to work for him. He got this guy right now here. You know, Sean Duggan was working with him in Green Bay. This is the first one. He brought him over here with him. He's worked with Bobby Slowick in San Fran. They work together in San Fran. So he have him on his staff. So I get it. But all I'm saying is you only can work with what you have. And at the end of the day, even though we're looking at it and saying, man, I don't like it. I don't know if I would use the word wrong though. I would say I don't like it. He has to, everyone should take the wait and see approach. And that's just from my standpoint, from my beliefs. I believe everyone should take the wait and see approach. But by no means am I up here telling people that you should have a positive approach to this. No, I would be dead wrong to even ask that. Listen, 30 of y'all in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If your first time over here, y'all know this is where y'all come to get, you know, the unfiltered truth. We don't sugarcoat. As you can see, me and him, we don't agree on a lot of things. It's always like that. But we are going to give our honest, 100% truth, unbiased truth. So, with all that being said, like I said, I don't think that it's the wrong thing to do for me, and that's my personal opinion. I don't think it's the what word am I looking for? I don't think it's the glamorous or happy-go-lucky thing that we're looking for to make us feel enthusiastic about this team. I just don't think this is a feel-good story, or we look at them and we're impressed about the coaching staff that he put together. You know, and I'm gonna be honest. For the most part, when he announced these people, Lou, I made one just for you because I know, you know, this is I got this one was just for you. 90% of these hires, I'm quite sure this is what most people were saying.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
I'm telling you, dog, that's the best one we have there so far. I'm like what are we talking about? Like, what? Nah, bro. No. Nah, bro.
What? Not that it wasn't even who. It's like, bro, who the fuck is that, bro? Like, what? What are we doing here? You don't know. We don't know these people, and I'm 100% sure that was part of the problem. And listen, I could give pushback all I want to Lou, but I still got to call a spade. And I have to be honest. This stuff ain't it. You know, I got to be honest. Man, we just didn't know these guys. So I have to go and do this kind of stuff and do homework and figure out who they are and what have they done and what kind of connections he have with them. You know, it's easy to go and say, well, you know, when Tennessee, when they hired Robert Saleh, we knew who he was. We knew his resume. We understood he was a dynamic defensive coach. No one is going to question his defense. Know where he went. Even at the Jets, when they was horrible on offense, that defense was always top 5. Got fired from that job, went to San Francisco. Go look at the defense that San Francisco, how they had prior to him getting there, and go look at it night and day once Robert Saleh got there. That's with injuries and all. Still top level defense. We understood that. What the thing that we said would have been great for Mike McDaniel, Lou? A guy like Brian Flores. A guy like a guy like Vic Fangio. Someone that's phenomenal on defense. Guess what Robert Saleh did? Learn from mistake. He went and got Brian Daboll. That's looking like that's going to be a great match over there.
And that's the point. Look at the staffs that other guys are putting together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at them. Look at them across the league. And you mean to tell me we're supposed to be okay with this? To your point, again, that I've been saying this. I think it more tends to nobody wants to come over here and work with Jeff Hafley.
Yes.
That's what I believe. So all this other stuff about, hey, again, I understand why you go and get guys that you're comfortable with or you're familiar with. I understand it. I don't think that's what's going on here in Miami. I just think nobody knows who Jeff Hafley is. And across league circles, I don't think they respect Jeff Hafley like that. So it just is what it is. You're left with the bottom barrel of coaching. That's what you're left with. He's getting a bunch of guys that no one knows. And again, basically guys, and Tone, I think you were spot on when you said it, a bunch of guys that are going to give him no pushback. And that can be good and that could be bad. Because, again, and I'm just talking about me, Tone. If I come, how many times, Tone, have you seen me, and we all know how I get sometimes, and I'm going off. You'll hit me up, hey, Lou, I want to move like that. Hey, Lou, I want to do, leave that alone, this, that. That's why I respect you on the level that I respect you. Because at some point, bro, a real friend, a true friend or whatever, or they tell you the things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what makes it real. I'm looking at this coaching staff. Who's going to tell Jeff Hafley he's wrong? Who's going to tell Jeff Hafley, hey, bro, this ain't it right here, dog? Nobody. It just seems like it's a bunch of yes men. Hey, we're here. We got a job. We're going to coach. Even if they think something is wrong. I mean, and I mean, who has the cachet to say anything, Tom, on this staff?
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody. I don't know if that kind of thing works, Tom, to be honest with you.
And now to that point is the cause of concern, but I'm listening to him. And everything that you're saying was and still is my concern. But listen to what he's saying. These are the reason that he's picking these guys. Because these are the guys that he worked with that have that type of mindset to tell him when he's wrong and tell him if they have a difference of opinion. That's what he said. Now, we all know that could be a bunch of fool's gold and just a bunch of, what you call that, lip service. That's all that could be. So some people, they bring in people like me, and we use this as an example every time. I do not work with people that do not give me pushback. I do not work with people that are going to be yes men because I'm not a yes man. And to deal with me and to work with me, you got to be able to listen and hear the tough conversations because I'm not going to lie to you. That's one thing I can say about me and Lou. We could speak for each other and say, well, one thing we're not going to lie to you. And if that's not right, it's just not right. Certain things I've done, you were like, yeah, nah, Tom, I can't agree with that. Certain things he said, nah, Lou, I just can't agree with that. I wouldn't move like that. I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And just, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, if these are the type of people that he's assembled and they move like that, then cool. That should be a good working relationship. But one thing that me, Luke, we always point out, there are going to come times when you're going to have disagreements. There are going to come times when you just not going to like what the other guy's doing. Are y'all going to be able to really have those conversations like you said, because you're talking a good game. Talking a good game. But we know one thing we know about this franchise. Things start to leak out. They start to leak out. And we start finding out, oh, this one didn't want to give pushback to this one. That one didn't get along with that one. And once we start seeing the Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel dynamics start to change. We say, oh, wait a minute. Something ain't good in house. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And let's see if this regime and this coaching staff, they supposed to work well with each other. They're supposed to speak out and understand each other. Cool. Right? I'm gonna see. One last thing I want to point out. I was listening to Jim Rome, and he did the thing again when they was asking him about the players and they was asking him about the decision making. Jim Rome asked him a great question. Lou, I don't know if you seen that Jim Rome interview on the radio. I don't know if you heard it. He said, "Did you?"
Yeah, I seen. Yeah, you talking about when Halfley sat down with Jim Rome?
Yes.
Talking about that interview? Yeah, I seen it.
You remember one of the biggest things he said was alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Alignment was one of my big keys. And then Jim Rome pointed out, you know what? Buffalo was beating that to death, basically saying we need, yeah, they was good, but they won the line. So that's why it wasn't working out. But he did ask him, what happens when it comes down to players? And your GM is telling you to play a player that you don't want to play. You heard when he asked him that?
Yeah, I heard that. Yep.
His answer was, when it comes down to who plays, that's going to be me and my coaching decision. When it comes down to who eventually bring in the players, that's going to be up to Half and his guys. So what did I say, Lou? Before I heard that, what did I say? He sounds like a dude that stays in his lane. Mm-hmm. Remember I said that?
Mm-hmm.
Don't that sound just like that? Well, at the end of the day, we have a disagreement. That's going to be y'all call. With player personnel, that's going to be y'all call. I voice my opinion. But, hey, you the GM. You bring them in, and I'll work with them. Listen, that worked all fine when y'all are not the two main decision makers. That probably worked out cool in Green Bay. But here, y'all two are the main decision makers. So you mean to tell me if there's a difference in, and I'm quite sure maybe it's more on the offensive side, but I'm just going by what he said. If you have someone and you're the defensive coordinator, you're the head coach, that y'all have a disagreement that you have to use, you're gonna say, okay, go ahead, Sully. All right. That sounds like a little more Chris Greer to me, defer. But we'll see. Now, I love the fact that you're going to stay in your lane. You remember, Lou? Stay in your lane. Whose decision? Okay, it's the GM decision. These are very key things that they're saying that lets me know. I believe we had that little back and forth earlier. Well, it's still the collective. No. They're making it very clear and concise who's making decisions and what decisions are being made. He made it very clear when it comes to people that bought in. Ultimately, it's going to be him and his scouts' decision. But when it comes to who plays on the field, it's going to be up to me and my head coaching. I'm going to hold them to that. I don't care what no one say. You're going to be held to that standard. I wonder what's the last thing I said? Oh, man, we done spent 40 minutes on it. We got to get, the last thing on this topic before we get to the other one, Lou, is I brought up the Joe Rose. I would listen to him earlier. So I brought up what he said. And, when it came to this coaching staff, and he brought up a very key, I thought I threw you an alley hoop so you could say I've been saying this the whole time, but I guess you thought it was a shot I was taking at you.
I read it wrong. You know what I'm
saying? Let's say read it twice. So he basically was saying, and he said, podcasters, all of y'all making this big hissy fits about Halfley and the coaching staff that he brings in, that he brought in, but he said, but if Sully bring in guys and they perform on the field, no one is going to be complaining about this coaching staff. He said, those players go out and they perform and we have good seasons and they have a better season than we thought of. We're going to be looking at this coaching staff saying I didn't know they were this good. And basically, like I said, he sounds like what me and Lou always tell y'all. These players are the ones that really going to make these coaches look good because they have to execute. Sully and Halfley, they could say all the right things all they want. They could be the disciplinarians. They could be structured. They could give you the right playbook. They could do everything the right way. But if them players do not go out and perform, I don't care who you are. Lou, you pointed it out all the time. When Andy Reid had to depend on Carson Wentz, Kansas City didn't look the same.
Not at all.
Not is Andy Reid all of a sudden not a bad coach? So all I'm saying is this is going to be more on and about what type of players they bring in. Another one that you always point out, Lou, Larry Coker got a national championship at UM, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't his team. And you ain't had to teach Larry how to win a championship. You ain't had to teach Kim Poise and Willie McGahee and Frank Gore, Andre Johnson. You don't need to teach them how to win a championship. Jonathan Vilma and all that. They had the right players. And they won that championship in spite of Larry Coker. How did them teams look after they left? Did Larry Coker look the same?
He looked like trash.
Trash. But he got a national championship. So all I'm saying is they have to be able to bring in the right guys. And then, man, you did your job. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because we start to say you don't start to notice the coaches until everything go bad. Right? Because Andy Reid was winning and Philly, but he didn't get recognized, at least to the point to where everyone recognized who he was until he couldn't get over that NFC championship hump. Everybody, no one wanted to talk about the fact that he was almost a shoe-in. You could pencil him in for the NFC championship. How great of a coach you have to be able to do that. No one wanted to talk about that. They only wanted to talk about, well, is he going to fail again this year? Is he going to finally get over the hump this year? Would this be the year that what do you mean he? It's the players that's out there. It's crazy. Because once he got Donovan McNabb, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he got over the hump his second, maybe his third year with McNabb? Gave him a quarterback that could get over the hump, and then he did it. Now, his quarterback folded in that Super Bowl, and we see T.O. didn't. T.O. was on one leg. He didn't fold. Guess what? Fast forward, move to Kansas City, get him Patrick Mahomes, and all of a sudden, the man lived in the Super Bowl. What changed? Was it Andy Reid or was it the players on the field? I'm quite sure all of us understand it was the players on the field. So you know what, Sully and Halfley, you could shut all this criticism down by bringing in the right players. Let these players make you look good. Help me help you, my brother. I got to go get that meme. Help me help you. That's all I'm saying. But anything on that, Lou, before I move on?
With what? What Joe Rose said? Or what he was saying?
Lou, what Joe Rose said.
Yeah, absolutely.
About the players, yeah.
Yeah, listen, Joe Rose sounds like he listens to the Blitz pickup. That's what he sounds like. At the end of the day, bro, you were spot on, Tone. I don't know how much more I can add, but I'll try. This is where people, and I see Sunny Days don't pay attention to Mr. Finisher. He ain't doing the goddamn thing. He can never be on me and Tony's neck. Because respectfully, Mr. Finisher again, Mr. Finisher knows Tua. That's the extent of his football knowledge. If that boy ain't talking Tua, he don't know football. But again, they think they actually doing something. But like the point of this is where, Tone, the whole time we were blaming Mike. Well, No, people were blaming Mike McDaniel for not getting over the hump. No, the players didn't get over the hump. When people want to blame Chris Greer, cool. I don't think this roster was as bad as everybody thinks. They just didn't. They folded under the pressure. Like I'll ask you a question. Jordan Brooks was named an All-Pro this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So when he was out there in Green Bay and he was missing tackles, does that make him less of an All-Pro?
No.
That just means he had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what coaching could have did for that?
Coaches can't go tackle for you.
What could the general manager have done for that?
The general manager can't make a tackle for you either.
So does that mean that coaches should be fired then? This, that, and the third? Nah. It's
Not
people
for players
get
missing
well, I'm just saying for players not making the right throws or the right reads. Is that coaching? Like what was Mike McDaniel supposed to do if there's a guy running wide open and Tua don't look that way? What is Mike McDaniel supposed to do? Nothing. If a ball hits Tyreek Hill right in the hands and he drops it, what's the coach supposed to do? Nothing. But this is what these people wanted to blame everybody for. So I'm just waiting for the again. People can sit here and be like, well, Lewis is lying. Cool. They can say Tony is lying. Cool. And so, Tone, you said that Joe Rose said what he said. Joe Rose has been in that locker room before, right, Tone?
Yes, sir.
Joe Rose has put on a Miami Dolphin uniform.
Yes, sir.
Joe Rose caught passes from everybody's favorite Miami Dolphin quarterback.
Yes, he did.
Now, why wasn't Joe Rose talking about coaching? Because none of that shit matters. In the grand scheme of things, you need players to execute. And this is not, I don't expect you to be perfect, but I need you to be better when the bright lights are on. When the moment is called, when it's needed, you got to be better. And ultimately, what we've seen here from the Dolphins is, yeah, they can be good against the New England from 4 or 5 years ago. Cool. They can beat the Jets twice a year. Ain't got no issue. What they can't do is beat the upper echelon teams. And y'all think that has to do with coaching. I just don't believe that. Y'all believe that has to do with something with the general manager. You know what's crazy? The Philadelphia Eagles lost this season in the playoffs. That roster is great. Now, that same head coach that won the Super Bowl, was he there, Tony?
Yes, he was.
How about Howie Roseman? Did he give up his job, or was he still the
No, he
GM
didn't.
this season?
Still there.
Okay. So what happened?
Players didn't execute.
I guess they should fire Howie Roseman, right? Oh, no, but he got – stop. Howie Roseman ain't doing nothing over there. All I'm saying is, again, does coaching matter? Because you know what this is going to turn into, Tom. Well, coaching does matter. We're not saying, or at least me, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But in the grand scheme of things, when the chips are on the table, coaching don't matter like that on Sundays. It don't. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm here to break it down to y'all. It don't. Are them players going to execute? And when they do, well, I'll say this, Tone, and I'll just end it here. Players make coaches. Coaches don't make players. That's what it is. That's in the grand scheme of things, that's what it is. So it is what it is. But shout out to Joe Rose. Joe Rose, please, if you ever listen to this, because I know he was talking about podcasters and stuff, you have a home here at the Blitz Pickup. I'm here to tell you right now. Joe Rose sounds like the smartest man on YouTube right now, or in the radio station, or wherever he does his show. Joe Rose was spot on, Tone. We've been saying it for years. Players win and lose games in this league. Players make coaching and general managers look good. It is what it is. But these hard-headed people, they'll never get it. So all I know, Tone, in a year and a half, 2 years, we'll be doing this same show, and we'll be talking about Jeff Hafley is the worst coach ever, and this, that, and the third. We know what it is, bro. So it is what it is. But players win and lose games in this league. Nothing else.
All right. Listen, we got Jess in the building. Hold on. Jess, give me a minute. Let me switch the scene real quick, and then we'll bring you up shortly. Hold on. Lou, number 2, let me get this out. She finna mess up my whole hard work, but it's all good. You know, she like to mess up my hard work. Listen, with all that being said, we would just talk about players and coaching don't matter, and it's the players that make coaches look good. Well, I heard, that, Miami Dolphins may be looking at a quarterback. And would you, be opposed to them going and get their guy at 11?
In this draft, I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm not even 100% sold on Fernando Mendoza, Tom. Do I think Mendoza is the best quarterback in this draft? I am. I'm not trying to trade up for Mendoza, though. Now, if he was there at 11, I would take him. Besides that, nah, bro. Miss me with all this should or if the Dolphins. Again, Tom, people are so scarred off of Tua, they'll just take anybody. Right? But no, in my opinion, I think taking a pick at 11, a quarterback in this draft, nah, bro. I don't think any of these quarterbacks really, and possibly including Mendoza, right, is worth that pick. So, no. If the rumors are true, Tone, that would be another bad mistake from Jeff Hafley, Eric Sullivan, and the rest of the front office, I would say. Nah, bro, you cannot make a pick. I mean, who? Because we all heard the rumors, right?
Ty Simpson.
So, Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, bro, he's not it. Let's call it for what it is. He didn't really have a good college career like that. Even this season, it started off hot. It tailed off at the end. He didn't look good. Nah, bro, I'm sorry. If it was me, Tone, I wouldn't be making no pick at 11, especially at quarterback. No, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so I put these 4 up here for a reason. You got Ty Simpson, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Allard, Taylor Green. Obviously, Ty Simpson and Garrett Nussmeier will be, if they do first round, well, more likely second round. But Drew Allard and Taylor Green, we think, is between 3rd and 4th round. Right? Now, here I got the question, and then we'll bring Jess up because I just want to get this question up with these guys in the book on there. You say you have a problem with Ty Simpson. Is it because he's from Alabama? Or just because you're not sold on him?
No, it's just because I'm not sold on him. It has nothing to do with Alabama.
So I got a question. What do you think is the difference between Ty Simpson and Bo Nix?
Realistically, nothing.
Coming out of college.
Yeah, nothing.
Let's be 100. None of us were sold on Bo Nix coming out of college. None of us was going to go get Bo Nix at 10. Majority of us were shocked that they went and got Bo Nix at 10. But they identified their guy and went and got him. And we need, hurry up with the question, Tony. We need to see Bestie respectfully. Respectfully, tell your Bestie, you know what, don't worry about it. You almost made me take a shot at her for no reason, bang, but that's why you my nemesis, boy. Actually, matter of fact, I could bring her up. I just wanted to keep these quarterbacks up here. Hold on. I got you, Game Boy 305. Hold on. We got to switch it around. Boom. What Jess said? Come up, Jess. Can you? Let me see. There she go. Can I switch you in your corner?
What's up? What's happening?
Jess, what's good? You see, Game Boy 305 wasn't gonna let us get out of here. We need to see Jess.
Wasn't it? That's my bestie. He was trying to make sure the queen pop up in here.
Ty Simpson to run this back, and Lou would be correct about our Dolphins. All right, cool. So, hold on, Jess. Let me get. So again, with Ty Simpson, That's why I asked you what's the difference between him and Bo Nix. None of us thought that he was going to pan out to be how he panned out in the NFL. He couldn't get it done in the SEC. We forgot he was at Auburn first. He left the SEC and had to go to the Pac-12. And still ain't get it done over there in Oregon.
And anybody believe in Bo Nix in the NFL now, though?
Yeah. I mean, look what that team. Well, he had the defense, but he make plays. Listen, let me ask you a question. If Bo Nix don't get injured, do you think they're not the one representing us in the AFC Championship? I mean, the AFC in the Super Bowl as opposed to Patriots?
I don't know.
Again, Drake May. Were we sold on Drake May when the Patriots got him? Nope. A lot of people was questioning that decision. North Carolina, I don't know. What has he done in college? Didn't look too like, he didn't look bad, but he didn't look too good over there in North Carolina. Not for them to get him to draft him what they did, but they identified their guy and when they got him. So all I'm saying is, I won't be me, and I'm like you. Me personally, I don't see a guy that I'm sold on. But see, that we don't do all of the scouting and get the workouts and the mindset and get to interview them like these coaches and these scouts do to say, okay, well, he got what I'm looking for in a quarterback, and I could develop that. You know what I'm saying? So from the outside looking in, me and you on the same page. No, I don't see no one. I don't even identify. I said this about Cam Ward last year, and he was our quarterback at the U. But they went and got him at 1. Saying the same thing about him. I mean, Ty Simpson or any of these guys. Mendoza. What I said. I'm like, hold on, Mendoza. I'm starting to see how you play in these big games, and I got some cause for concern. I'm not sold on you like this, right? I watched Connor drop that pick 6 in the national championship game. I watched it. But you think Oakland is not gonna go grab him? Yes, they are. They see something what he did in Ohio State. He didn't have a good let's call it spade. That man didn't have a good game in Ohio State, but he came up clutch. And I think they saw something. Well, everyone saw something in him. Be like, well, if we can just get that out of him the whole time and make him get that some consistency, we got our franchise guy. So even though I'm not sold, you may not be sold, man, I'll be skeptical, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be mad if they identify a guy and they say that's my guy. What I don't want to happen is what you said these fans are doing. Don't just go get somebody because you want to move off of what's your name, a tour. Don't do that. Like, we not doing that. Like, for sure. Just need to have our own segue on the show. I'm about to put these dudes on mute. Too near hugging the mic too much. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I think this is for some reason, I guess he's not new because Mr. Fitness has been here. Since when did I become a tourineur? I don't know if you know who I am. Maybe you were, used to the YouTube before I got over here on YouTube. But I'm the dude that was fighting all these dudes that say pay tour. Let me introduce. I'm the one that was saying no, we don't. No, sir. I was the one giving pushback on.
I just don't know what the debate is here. Like, again, calling us tourineurs. The only one up here talking about Tua is this dumbass in the chat.
Don't put your head down. You did that.
No, like for real, that I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit is aggravating, to be honest with you.
No.
Like, homie, get out your fucking feelings, dog. Like, who is Mr. Finisher? I think I've seen you at the games, dog. You're a nobody, bro. Like, nobody respects you. Nobody fucks with you. Like, I'm just gonna be the one to tell you. You're a Skylar Thompson dude. I remember. I told you this the last time. So you could take, I was right about Tua. Well, you were wrong about Josh Rosen. You were one of those guys too. You were right. You were wrong about Skylar Thompson. So the only two in there I see here is you, ho.
Ooh.
You the only one talking to her.
Yeah, well, anyway, somebody just Josh Rosen question mark. But outside of that, I think the only what so since it's not in the first quarter, I mean the 11th pick, how high do you think would you be willing to go? Do you think a second round is too soon? Maybe wait until we get when the guy that's gonna be a better. We take Mendoza out. We're sure he's not gonna be there. So with all the rest of the guys, the Luke Altmaier, the Taylor Green, the Drew Lars, the Ty Simpsons, Garrett Nussmeier, what's the highest you would get any of those guys if you were sold on any of them?
Third round. So you won't even go second round, not even with Ty Simpson if he's available? No.
Okay.
I'm not picking a quarterback no higher than the third round. And that's the only reason I would be doing that is because I got 3 third-round picks.
3 third-round picks. That's a great luxury to have.
And possibly, from according to Barry Jackson, what he was saying yesterday, with the comp picks that might be coming, we might get a third for I forgot who it was. I think he was saying Javon Holland. So if that's the case,
they said we might more than likely not going to grab that one. So, but yeah, you're right.
Okay. Well, either way, we already got 3. I'm not pulling the trigger at least in the third round. I don't see none of them guys like that, to be honest with
you. I guess so. Yeah, I'm looking at Hey, if they identify they got, hey, listen, man, Seattle went and got the Jets guy and he got them in the Super Bowl. Man, if Seattle win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, the Jets should fire their whole front office, man. Even though I know they're not gonna do it, they should fire their whole front office. Like for real. That's crazy. Jets, what's good, man? You got your fans in there. Are you familiar with any of these quarterbacks?
No.
You don't like none? Well, you're not familiar. You don't even like none of them. No. Okay. Well, listen. I did want to ask before we get off. You know what I'm saying? I did want to ask because we do have the Super Bowl coming up. So, Lou, Jess, more impressive. What the Patriots and not the Patriots. I'll say what what's the head coach over there? God, Target.
What coach you talking about?
The Patriots.
Mike Vrabel.
What Mike Vrabel did with Drake May to get them to a Super Bowl, or what Mike McDonald did with Sam Darnold to get to the Super Bowl? Which one y'all think is more impressive?
I would say for me, I would say New England. From the simple fact, Seattle has had a good team. There's a lot of again, their roster, you look at that defense, there's playmakers all over the board. They got a rookie over there, Nick Emmanwori, a guy that I wanted. He's been balling. They got 2 standout corners with Witherspoon and Tyreek Woolen as well. Kenneth Walker from the running back position. Obviously, JSN from the receiver standpoint. I just think Seattle and Mike McDonald over there have a lot more to work with than what Mike Vrabel has with New England. So especially New England having, I think it was 4 straight, Tone and Jess, 4-win seasons, right? Like Seattle was in the playoffs last year, I believe. So yeah, for me at least, I think the job Mike Vrabel has done going from a 4-win team to a 14-win team, I think that for me at least, that's more impressive.
Yeah. You agree with him, Jeff?
I definitely do.
So look, I believe, what both of them did, what they have done, they're both impressive. But yes, but the reason I asked, right, is because now Denver, we might be in the same we kind of in the same situation that they were in with the Russell Wilson thing with the quarterback and the large cap hit. I think it was 80 something at that time. was the largest, and we're gonna blow that out the water. And then now you have New England, like you say, down bad. But you know what? Both of these guys identified their quarterback. They identified their quarterback, and eventually, they got the job done. But that 4-win season, New England, how this correlates to the Dolphins. See, they had a bunch of cap space after they went and got their quarterback. And they spent a lot of money in the offseason assembling a great team around Drake May. They hit on their draft picks for the most part. The rookie was up and down. What's his name? Campbell. I wasn't really a big sold on him. Campbell. The running back.
Right? Travion
Henderson. They went out there and got him Stephon Diggs. Booty was already there, right?
Booty was there. Yeah.
Booty was there. And then the other guy, what's the other guy that playing this? What's the other receiver there? It's Booty, Stephon Diggs.
I think that guy Douglas or something.
Yeah,
like
Douglas. Douglas. That was one of the draft picks too. So they did it right. Kind of like what Chris Greer tried to do, but they did it the right way. On defense, brought in Milton from Philly at tackle. Brought him in. Great addition. They went out and spent some money. And they hit on Christian Gonzalez. It seemed like they did the recipe that Chris Greer went, let me get all my draft picks in, and now let me take my roster to the next level by bringing in these high-priced free agents, Stephon Diggs, Milton, and it all came together, and now look at them. They're in a Super Bowl. So, Miami Dolphins, we have the recipe here. Get your quarterback. Then you surround the right quarterback with players, and you could take advantage and full advantage of that Super Bowl window when you have your quarterback on a rookie deal. Now, Seattle did it a little different. They went out and they put that team together, and then they brought in Sam Darnold. Right? I think Clint Kubiak, people got to start looking. How many years has Clint Kubiak been over there in Seattle?
I believe this is his second year.
Second year. So you mean to tell me he made Geno Smith look good? Then come back in. Now Sam Darnold looked good over there with Kevin O'Sullivan. But Kevin O'Donnell, I'm sorry. But now you got Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was folded in them big games, especially against the Rams. He had one pretty good game against the Rams and a real good game last game against the Rams. That the biggest knock on him was that big game. That's when he fold. When the late in the season, when the moments get to the big for him, he tend to fold. He's starting to. This season he looks like he's doing his thing. Now another thing that Seattle got, how you want to pump your chest for Nick and Mawar, and I give you all the credit because you were the first one to say, "Tone, go look at this dude." And I said, "Oh yeah, I like him." But they also got that boy that I wanted, Gray Zabel. Funny how that worked. Look how that worked out. It's funny how that works out. We looking at these players and who we want to draft, and we identifying ballers. Sometimes you might just need to simplify things. Stop overthinking it. Man, if you're a baller on the field, then you're a baller on the field. Miss me with the size and everything, because that was Greg Zabel first when he came out. The size and he was tackled, but he was too small for tackle. He's doing phenomenal at guard. Was rated the highest rookie guard in NFL. Sometimes you just need to get ballers. Get ballers, man. Football is always going to be about the players. So, but to answer my own question, yeah, I think what the Patriots done, because they've doing it with a rookie quarterback, and not everyone should do it the same way, but they let him play through his growing pains, and it's basically night and day, year one to year two. Now his playoff, he hasn't been, I need a baller shot caller as well, Jess. His playoff performance wasn't all that good. He hasn't that defense. He do have the number one ranked defense. So if I would say the difference that I see in the Patriots and Seattle, at least for last game, Sam Darnold put up them points. Because I don't care what you listen. Have all the good defense you want. When Matt Stafford on the other side, you're gonna have to put up points. And Sam Darnold had to drop 30 over there to beat them with that great defense. That defense was ranked number 2, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Seattle was ranked number 2 this season in total defense. I know the Patriots are 4 in Seattle, but hey, he still had to score 30 to beat them. So yes, it always gonna come down to no matter what happens, you're going to need your quarterback to make a play. These are facts. But listen, man, Lou, Jess, y'all got anything else? Hey, man, listen, it's still 31 of y'all in the building. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like buttons. As you can see, even the haters got a voice over here. You know what I'm saying? Nothing soft over here. You better be able to stand in them trenches over here. Because we don't bite our tongue. So that's all I want to say. But Jess, you got anything? You know what I'm saying? You came over here, messed up my little graphics and all this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I really sorry? No.
Yeah, look, I tell you don't look like you sorry. You know what I'm saying? Actions speak louder than words. And you say you sorry, but you don't look like it. Lou, anything before we get up out of here, my brother?
No, I'm good, Tom.
No, all right. Well, listen, Lou, you know what to do, my brother? We win in the Super Bowl next year. Crypto, get out of here.
Hey, man, this has been the Monday episode of the Blitz Pickup, man. You know what it is, I guess. The home of all the two-and-ears. I guess. But you know what I'm saying? Either way, we'll see y'all Wednesday for the next episode. Here after the Super Bowl, I do believe we will start doing some of these draft prospects, breaking down position by position. So stay tuned for that. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend about us. For Jess, for myself, for my brother Tone, you already know the producer in the back. We'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Y'all know what it is. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.